I'm a big fan of e-rigs. I have a bunch of them and I'm looking to buy more just to try out a ton of different options so I can give you guys some good opinions on things that you should try, because right now, in my opinion, the best e-rig is the Puffco Peak Pro, but it's so expensive. It's like close to 500 with some upgrades, and when somebody asks me what they should get, I'm like, oh, you want to get into dabbing? You got $500? It's wild to me that the best e-rig is the same price as a PS5, and there's not a lot of other options that are cheaper that come close to the hits. So I was doing some shopping not too long ago for e-rigs, and I came across a brand new one. It said on the website, new in 2023. I'd never seen anybody talk about it. I'd never seen anybody use the e-rig. I thought it looked pretty cool, and the price on it was like a little over 200, so like a degenerate, I added it to my cart. And a few days later, I was able to take some rips off of it. And after a few rips off of it, I thought to myself, wow, I really wasted like $200 some on this piece of crap. Bro, there's so many trash e-rigs out there. I'm so baffled that this one is new in 2023 and it's probably the worst one I've ever used. Before I unboxed it on my stream, I was asking everybody to take a guess at what it is. And like hundreds of guesses went by and nobody got it. Okay, somebody got it, but I said the guessing period was over. All right, here's the e-rig I got. It's the Utilian 8, and I bought this so you don't have to. It looks cool. I gotta say, this is one of the coolest looking e-rigs. It's got a removable little sleeve on it. It's like plastic and fabric, so it's got a nice feel to it, but the more I think about it, like once this gets dirty, you're not cleaning it. It looks weird and ugly without the sleeve. And the cap isn't attached to anything. It kind of wedges in, but they got a little magnetic snapping on there, a little magnetic snapping on here. Cosmetically, it looks cool. The hits are trash. The hits are so bad. I do like the black and red design. It's got the charcoal colored glass. It lights up red when it's heating up, and then when it's hot, it goes green. So it looks cool, right? The hits are so bad. It only stays hot for like 25 seconds. It only has 4 temperature settings, which is pretty common on e-rigs, but I think the best thing about the Peak Pro is it has a bunch of different time and temperature settings. Like you can really customize your time and temperature. Most of the other e-rigs out there are like, hey, if we didn't get it right in the 4 temperatures we provided, like good luck. So you're very limited on the quality of dab you can get, but it's only hot for 25 seconds. That is not long enough to do a dab. One of my biggest issues with a lot of e-rigs is they're hot for like 20 or 30 seconds. A real dab is about a minute long. Like it takes a minute to vaporize your concentrate at a lower temperature if you're looking for a good dab. Most of these e-rigs seem like a supercharged vape pen where you just get the vapor way too quick, it's way too hot, and then it's over shortly. The good e-rigs like the Puffco slowly get to that temperature like a cold start dab, and they don't really go over it. A lot of these you get a very big initial hit when the coil is as hot as it can be, and then your second puff or whatever just doesn't have any vapor in it because it scorched it all in the beginning. Now this is wild to me because most e-rigs are like Puffco knockoffs. They just did a much worse job at it. But this seems to be a knockoff of another popular e-rig that I got recently, and I'm probably going to make a video on it soon. But if you've ever heard of the Core 2.0, they actually have a Core 2.1. That one has a removable sleeve from the body, but it's like a silicone sleeve. And I think this one uses the same atomizer. But the time settings on this and the temperature settings are just bad. I think I started to chaz the atomizer on like the 3rd out of 4 heat settings. It wasn't even as hot as it could get. And it was like leaving burn marks on the atomizer. And the hit being only 25 seconds is so wild to me. It's a brand new in 2023 e-rig and it thinks the dab's 25 seconds. So there's a few things about it I like. The mouthpiece is a little bit wider than the Puffco mouthpiece. They got a really narrow one on the Puffco that sometimes just hits me right in the tooth. It hasn't happened in a little while, but it's happened enough to where I'm extra cautious. This wider mouthpiece is pretty good. I like it. But it really all comes down to the hit. Like, it can look as cool as you want. Like, you put that on the shelf at the head shop next to the Puffco, and you say it's half the price. Like, a lot of people are going to go, oh, look at that one. Black and red, it looks cool. But if you're comparing it to the newer Puffco, the Peak Pro, not even close to as good. I would think you could sooner compare it to the older one because it only has 4 temperature settings. The OG Peak only has 4 settings, but all 4 of them are better than this. And the time that it stays hot is better than this one. This one's just not hot long enough. I will say, to the benefit of this one, it does come with terp pearls, which most of them don't, but like, they're so cheap. It's not really hard to get terp pearls. But it is wild that most e-rigs, while they do benefit from a terp pearl, don't come with one. It's kind of crazy to me. So they thought of a few things on this one, but they really didn't like test it enough. I don't know. I'm pretty sure most people that make e-rigs don't dab. because they would be better. So I spent the money on the Utilian 8, so you don't have to. I do not recommend getting it. It is literally one of the worst e-rigs that I've used. For the price, like, don't get it. I think it's $30 cheaper than the old Puffco Peak, and it's not nearly as good. If you do have a bit more, the Peak Pro is the best one, but it's just so dang expensive. I'm trying to find the cheaper one so that when I go recommend an e-rig to somebody, I'm not like, well, you got 500 bucks? I smoke with a lot of people on my Twitch stream, which you should join me on my Twitch. I go live after 9 p.m. Eastern for a smoke sesh. But when people ask me for recommendations, I try to give out the cheaper options, the better options, and the safer options. Because I've done tons of dabs on e-rigs. I've never burnt myself once. I've never accidentally touched something or got a burn on it because of the way they're designed. They're a bit safer than using like a torch and a rig and stuff like that. I've definitely burned myself a few times with torches and rig setups and e-nails even. Most e-rigs are much safer overall, so it's easier for me to recommend. Especially like if it's somebody's grandma trying to get into dabbing. Unless she's like a creme brulee expert, I'm not recommending a torch and a rig for her to get. Either way, stay tuned, more e-rig videos coming soon. And if you want to know my favorite consistency of concentrates, check out this video right here. It's a tier list of all my favorite kinds of dabs. Have a lit day, my dudes.